This Saturday, a pretty spectacular event is going to be happening. It's an annular total solar eclipse. So we here at Third Rock Radio thought it'd be a wise idea to get a NASA scientist on to discuss this. And here she is. Joining us is NASA scientist Nicki Viall. Hi, Nicki.
Hello. How are you guys?
We are doing good, and we have a ton of questions, so I'm just going to jump in. First of all, what exactly is an annular eclipse for those watching and listening at home?
Yeah, an annular eclipse happens when, from our perspective here on Earth, the moon crosses between us and the sun, blocking out the sun. Annularity happens when the moon is right in the middle of the sun's disk, and it doesn't totally block out all the light of the sun. So we still have to be very careful with how we watch the annular eclipse, but it's still going to be a spectacular sight.
Now, is this rare? I mean, how often do annular eclipses happen?
Eclipses happen every once in a while, once or twice a year, somewhere on the Earth. But what's rare is the ability to be exactly where that path is. So the moon crosses between the Earth and the sun often. It's just that not everywhere on the Earth can see that. And a lot of the Earth, of course, is covered with ocean where people don't live and can't see it.
Okay, so this one coming up on Saturday is getting a lot of attention because a lot of people are going to be able to see it. Is that the case?
Exactly. It's coming across such a main part of the United States. It's coming down through Central and South America. So a lot of people are going to get to see it.
Awesome. Now, I've heard the term fire in the sky eclipse. Is that because of since it's going to be in between us and the sun and it will block out? Is that why they're calling it the fire in the sky, so to speak? Or where does that term come from for this?
Yeah, ring of fire is a term that we use to talk about the annular eclipse as opposed to a total solar eclipse. So there's two kinds of eclipses where the moon blocks the sunlight. The one that we're having this October, this Saturday on the 14th, is where the moon doesn't totally block out the main disk of the sun. And so you get this ring, it looks like a ring of fire peeking out from around the moon. So that's why the annular eclipse is called a ring of fire eclipse. In April, we're going to have a different kind of solar eclipse where we get a total solar eclipse. And that's where the moon totally blocks out the main body of the sun, allowing us to see the atmosphere of the sun around it.
So that's going to be happening in April of 2024. Is it going to get like pitch? It won't get pitch black, but will it be noticeably darker in April?
Oh, yeah. The April 8th total solar eclipse, if you're in the path of totality, it feels like nighttime. And in fact, one of the NASA projects is to look at how the soundscape changes in response to these eclipses as the light actually goes down. And do the birds respond differently? Do the crickets respond differently because they think it's actually nighttime?
I know I'm going to respond just by freaking out because it's going to be something something a little that we're not. If you're not aware of it, you're like, what the hell is going on out there? That's crazy. Okay, on Saturday for the eclipse happening, what time will it start, so to speak, and what time will people start being able to notice something? They'll be able to notice the change, if you will, with the eclipse.
NASA just posted an interactive tool called the Eclipse Explore.
Yes.
So that everybody can go look at their own time zone, at their own city, and see exactly when the changes will be at their location. Even if you're not in the path of annularity, still a lot of the United States is going to see a partial eclipse where the moon partially covers the sun. And again, as long as you have safe viewing methods for viewing that, you can see that. So let's see, in Houston, if I click on Houston, the first contact is about 11 a.m. Houston time. So that's when the moon you'll first be able to tell that the moon is crossing in front of the sun. The maximum extent is almost noon. And then you'll see the moon continue to cross in front of the sun, and the last contact will be about 1:30 local time in Houston.
That was my next question. How long is this going to, no matter where you're seeing it from, you're saying, so doing the math, that would be about an hour and a half, 2 hours. You'll be able to see a change over the sun, or across the sun, I should say?
Exactly. Depending on exactly where you are, it's about an hour to 2 hours for the moon to totally cross start crossing in front of the sun, pass through the center of the sun, and then exit.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's not going to be completely visible around the world, but in a majority of where people are living, they should be able to see it for this time around.
That's right. The majority of the people will be able to see at least a partial eclipse. Of course, it depends on your local weather conditions.
Right.
But yeah, at least a partial eclipse will be visible for a lot of North and South America, actually.
Nice. Okay. Well, for those at home who want to take a look at this weekend, what are the eclipse watching, if you will? Let's do some do's and don'ts. What do you recommend for people how can they most effectively see it, but also see it safely?
So first of all, never look directly at the sun. In an annular eclipse, even when the moon is between us and the sun, still it's not safe to look at the sun directly. Sunglasses won't help. You need to have the special eclipse viewing glasses, solar viewing glasses. If you have those special solar viewing glasses, you can look directly at the sun and just see that the moon is crossing in front of the sun, which is pretty cool. You can also use indirect methods. A pinhole projector will work. And what you do there, it's just literally a pinhole. You can use a piece of foil or a piece of paper. And you have the sun and the moon behind you, and you project that down through the pinhole through in front of you. And you can find instructions to make your own pinhole projector on the NASA Eclipse webpage. You can also make it through your hands. You can just cross your fingers over one another so that you make sort of a mesh shape, and your fingers will create little pinholes, and you can project down onto the ground the image of the moon crossing in front of the sun.
Okay, so this is happening on Saturday. It's very exciting. And then we kind of touched on it, but in April of next year, we're going to have a total solar eclipse. What did you say, April 8th? That's when that's happening next year?
April 8th, correct.
The annular total solar eclipse happens this Saturday, the 14th. And now, thanks to our guest, NASA scientist Nicki Viall, we are all a tad smarter. So thank you so much for joining us today on Third Rock.
Thank you.